We'll be seeing Romney at the Conservative Political Action Conference later this month, and some other familiar faces too, including Sarah Palin, a fact that has infuriated former top aide for President George W. Bush, Matthew Dowd. During a panel discussion Sunday on ABC's This Week, Dowd attacked the Republican Party for inviting Sarah Palin to CPAC, seemingly particularly angry that New Jersey Governor Chris Christie had been overlooked. It's not the first time that the Christie snub has been highlighted, but Dowd really took no prisoners. He told George Stephanopoulos that Palin, quote, wasn't even competent enough to hold down her job at Fox News. Ouch. Let's take a listen to that.
CPAC, to me, it totally diminishes their credibility as an organization when you basically, Chris Christie is a national leader, and their explanation about why, in the next day about why
didn't have a good year.
It's like an all-star game to say that he didn't have a good year, and they invite Sarah Palin, who wasn't competent enough to keep a Fox News contract, but she's invited to a CPAC meeting. I mean, to me, they basically, many people, Carl and many people, decided that the voters out there don't know what they're doing. That the voters who like Chris Christie and the voters that like other candidates, like, they're really mixed up, and we're going to tell them what the truth is. And whenever that's a strategy on either side, when you're trying to tell the voters they're wrong, it's a bad move.
You're going to stand up.
David, there's been a lot of flack, thrown at Chris Christie since he and President Obama seemed to get chummy after Hurricane Sandy, obviously. But Christie aside, there's been a lot of sneering about the CPAC lineup this year. What do you make of the CPAC lineup? You think Republicans are dropping the ball here?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that when somebody like Matt Dowd is criticizing CPAC, I think what we're seeing is the fact that there is this divide in the Republican Party. The Republican Party, the Republican coalition, is completely fractured, doesn't know what identity it has for itself. I think that you could make an argument. I wouldn't necessarily make this argument because I don't want to call Chris Christie not conservative. But if you see in the whole world of Republican politics, Chris Christie being on the less conservative side of that Republican Party, then it would make sense for an ideological organization like CPAC not to invite him. However, for that organization to invite Sarah Palin, I think doesn't add credibility to the ideological underpinnings that are supposed to really undergird an organization that's supposed to be rooted in principle, not necessarily politics.